Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio, this pre-match show, Champions League fixture at home to Napoli. Join myself, Oxyar, on the show. It's all bare and juicy. Evening, gents.
Evening, mate. How are you?
Good, mate, considering it's a very emotional time for everybody, Albert.
I am, but I'm still under medication at the moment, so I might sound a bit drowsy tonight, mate. It's called whiskey.
Juicy, how are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Of course, under the circumstances, a very sad week for our nation. My thoughts and condolences are with our royal family, of course. Got a wonderful match to be looking forward to tonight. Let's see how the guys go on.
Yeah, and Albert, but is this going to be your sixth month, Albert? Is that right?
Steady now, coming steady now. I'm a 1-1 up man, or 2 now, aye.
1-1 up man. I get you. Quite good. Right, okay, Juicy, I believe you get the team for us. A few talking points.
Okay, McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands, Barisic, Stephen Davis, Lundstrom, Jack, Arfield, Kent, Morelos. Substitutes bench is McCrory, Budanakis, Ridvan, Davies, King, Devine, Kamara, Tillman, Cholak, Matondo, Wright, Fashion Jr.
Okay, my understanding is it's going to be a 5-3-1-1 with Kent joining in with Alfredo. With behind him Arfield, Davis and Jack. And then obviously Tav on the right, Ball on the left. Between them will be James Sands, Golson in the middle, and Lundstrom will make up the 5 with the 2 fullbacks trying to join in with the 3 when we've got possession, Albert. And you did get a message today telling you that Alfredo was starting again.
Yeah, I did. You did. I was wondering about that message. It's like the summer transfer window never happened, isn't it? It's back to the old guard. Let's see what they can do.
Thoughts, Juicy?
Well, one thing we were just saying before we came on air there, Oxford, was a little bit of a concern in terms of lack of pace in the middle. And we've seen in the last few big matches where we've played midfields of Lundstrom, Kamara, Davis, for example, that there isn't really any pace in the team. And of course, we know that Jack isn't exactly a speed demon. That's not to say for one moment that these players don't bring other qualities to our team. Don't want to just shoot our entire midfield there before the match has even started. But we know that certain teams that we play against, if they're moving the ball quickly, could be difficult for these guys. So we need a controlled performance from this team. Interesting that Tillman hasn't started. We know, guys, that he didn't really play too well in the last few matches, but in fairness, one of those matches he was played out of position. So pretty difficult for the kid, isn't it, under those circumstances? But we've certainly got a lot of options on the bench if we do need to change things.
But Cholak's got a right to feel aggrieved, didn't he? Alberry's no starting.
He has, mate. It's just unfortunate. It's the type of, or the style we've got to play with somebody up the front to try and hold the ball. It's just no his game. But he could say, I hope he's not one of the players that takes a petty lip out of it, because he doesn't deserve to be dropped on scoring premises. But it's horses for courses, isn't it? You just need to cut your cloth accordingly to what type of game and what kind of team you're playing against.
What concerns me is, and I've been honest, I mean, when is Ben Davies going to be fit? If he's fit enough to be in the bench the last 2 games and he's a natural left-sided centre-half, that gives me the fear. Juicy.
I can only imagine that the decision to not start him is possibly due to his lack of actual game time. And I can kind of understand that, throwing in any player into a centre-back position in such an important match gives me the fear a little bit. But to answer your question, I don't know when we're going to play him, because when would be the opportune moment? I always thought that if he didn't play tonight, he would perhaps start against Dundee United at the weekend. Not Not that isn't important either, though, Oxford.
No.
I want to say that United isn't an important match, because it is.
Yeah, fair shout. I get what you're saying. Lack of match practice and all that, but Alfie's not exactly played a lot of minutes, and he starts the night well better.
I'm trying to avoid being negative, mate. I'm really trying to stay away from it and just concentrate on the game. This game is a one-off. Let's reset, rejig, make this for platform to kick on. But if you can't get into a team, if you're a defender, you can't get a team that's lost 8 goals in the last 2 games, questions need to be asked about you. He should be saying to him, "Oh, you need to play me now. Come on, you can't no play me now." If that's the reason. I can see just his point, but he hasn't played much football. But I can't keep spoon-feeding players, guys. It's just not right. It's just simply not right. They've got to play sometime.
So we brought in 7 players for the last transfer window, and none of them start the night. None of them. I'll go back to this is day 7, but it's not a time to discuss these kinds of things. But look, it's a big night. It's a glamour night. Ibrox is full with buzzing. The support will have to do their bit as usual. Ibrox, juicy, but we're playing a quality side here.
Yeah, we're certainly playing a quality side, and I know we had a lot of fantastic performances at home last season, so we need to remember that. We need to remember that we are a very capable team at home, and we had 2 good performances against USG and PSV at home this season as well. So we know we're still capable at home in the European match. This is possibly a step up from everything we've played in Europe last season and this season based on their current form. They're currently top of the Serie A. They've been playing very well. Defensively, they look tight. Even when they're not scoring a lot of goals, they're certainly not letting them in. Their performance against Liverpool last week was excellent. So it'll be tricky tonight. But I'm not one of these fans that is sad of the prospect of playing a team like this. This is what we wanted. We wanted to be competing with the big teams, and we knew difficult. We knew it'd be difficult. The alternative is we'd have had a Europa League match versus Arsenal, which I'm not saying that wouldn't be good, but it's the lesser tiered competition. And then the only chance our guys are going to have, guys, of getting better is to compete at this level and keep those matches coming. Sometimes we might have to take a few beatings to learn from it, but it's not always going to be like that.
Okay, right. Big game. You're right. It's what we wanted. Let's hear from you. It's time to get behind the team. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
This is the nights we wanted, Albert. It's big nights. You think we called it the journey, it ended up being called the journey. We get the draw, tough draw. We knew we'd get a tough draw, and it's a glamour nights, and hopefully we can compete and put on a performance.
It's definitely the games we wanted. Of course it is. It's where we're heading to, so we're here now. The thing about this Champions League is, everybody keeps forgetting, if you're off your game at all, even slightly, these teams are quite capable of just giving you a baton. And look at Liverpool; they took a baton. There's other teams took a baton. Not just us. It just seems to be focusing on us because we're getting accused of no trying and all that. We've not done it. I think you've got to question the players, but don't think for a minute every team's immune, or all the teams in the Champions League are immune for taking a baton. Any team at any time can take a baton, because that's how good these teams can be. If you're having a bad game and they're having a good game, you can take a right good tonking, by the way. Any team. So we took one. So what? We move on to this game. You never know. You never know with Rangers. We're Glasgow Rangers. You never know what happens. If we can get fire in their belly and get a bit of concentration, use our experience, you never know. You never know what can happen. But they're a quality team. As Jussie said, they're a quality team, and you can't run away for the fact, and you don't want to run away for the fact. You recognise who you're playing, and you act accordingly. So that's what Van Bronckhorst was trying to tell them. You need to up your game. It's a fact of life. And if you can't up your game, you'll get a battle. So it's exciting to see if they're going to raise their game. It really is. So let's go. Let's have a right go. Let's see what we can do tonight. And if we get any sort of result tonight, I'll be happy. I'll be really, really happy if we get any result. Still need work done, and it's not going to paper out the cracks or anything. But it's a one-off game the night, so let's treat it like a one-off game. You're in a group stage, so let's go on there. And with the right application, the right heart, you might be able to do it. You might be able to do something, put it that way.
Yeah, aye. Listen, attitude and desire and work rate, it takes you a long way, and some of the qualities got us to the final last year. I mean, we know we're one of the best football team in that competition. We've seen it in stages against Red Star, we've seen it in stages against Dortmund, we've seen it in stages against Braga, we've seen it in stages against Leipzig. We knocked them all out, you see.
Exactly. That's exactly what we did. And some of those performances at various points, whether we were home or away, we had to give up the ball. We had to have, risky periods where we were up against it and, under siege at some point. But we had our chances too. And I think a big part of last season was we took the chances when they came, because we've seen in the first two rounds of matches in the Champions League this season, last week's games and the matches that were on yesterday, when you get opportunities, you have to take them because of the quality that you're up against. And, in just a few short minutes, you can be a couple of goals down and you might be regretting the chance that you had. But we know this Rangers team can play. We've seen it. There's teams that we beat last season that are sitting here in the very same competition as us this season. And we know that we've competed with those teams, Dortmund and Leipzig, etc. So we're not a poor team. Financially, in terms of the spend, Oxford, we are levels behind a lot of the other clubs in this competition in terms of our spend on players.
They're in bigger leagues.
It's about
they're in
the
bigger
90
leagues,
minutes.
you see.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're in bigger leagues. You've got to accept that. The Italian league, Spanish league, English league, German league, French league. They're in bigger leagues. You can't help geography, Albert.
No, that's it. I mean, see, the thing that we need to understand, and the team need to understand, the squad needs to understand, it's always going to be the whole is more than the sum of its parts. That's what we've got, mate. That's what it took us last year. That philosophy. Now, we've got to have that philosophy for at least the next 10 years, mate. So, and the sooner the players get that into their head, they all need to pull in the one direction. You need to get your mate a horn. You need to run the extra 20, 30 yards to help your mate. You need to all pull together. So the whole is more than the sum of the parts is our philosophy, mate. I was hearing the other night, that is our philosophy. We all have to pull the one way. Whatever the tactics are, whatever the gaffer says we need to do, well, that's what we need to do, but we all need to do it together. There's no point in anybody starting to think there's Billy Big Boots here or I'm not liking it, so you don't like it. Well, you're not part of the group then, are you? It's the only hope we've got for the future. And if we don't, and that's including all the new players that ever come in to the club, it's always going to be like this for the next at least the next 10 years. And the sooner we get that philosophy drilled into their heads, the better. Because you can achieve some great things with that philosophy. It's not just a make doing, let's mend and make do type situation. It is a proven philosophy, and if you get it into their heads and they all buy into it, you can achieve wonderful things, as we proved last year, getting to the UEFA Cup final.
You're doing for a lot of things, but a philosopher not.
I'm not a philosopher, mate. I'm just on my knees praying tonight. That's warm.
Juicy people join us all the time. Give us a team.
McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands, Barisic, Stephen Davis, Lundstrom, Jack, Arfield, Kent, Morelos. The substitute bench is McClaughey, Budanakis, Ridvan, Ben Davies, King, Devine, Kamara, Tillman, Cholak, Matondo, Wright, and Fashion Jr.
Your understand is that we'll set up 5-3-1-1, or you could say 3-5-1-1 if with the wing backs, full backs, whatever you want to call them, Albert having to join in, yeah? Yeah.
Well, I think it's Maria. We need to stop them, or we really need to defend well. Let's be honest, but they actually tore Liverpool apart. We really did. So we've got to be on their case. They've got some wonderful individual players, but they're a good team. They're a really good team. So I think it's all about as Juicy says, if we get chances, take them. Please take them. Don't hesitate. You need to take them. You need to finish them because there'll be far and few between. And it'll be all hands to the pump, I think, tonight, mate, to be honest with you. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to really instill into myself that a positive attitude to say, come on, we can get something out of this game.
I think one of the big positives is we've got somebody that can hold the ball if he's on his game.
Yeah, we are healthy, aye. It's the wee-man plays at all tonight. I think it makes a huge difference if he plays at all. And if he plays at all tonight, he's all like that. I feel like slapping him in the heat and going, if you'd have knuckled down with your injury, would have had you in sooner. But there you go. It's all a splits middies and what could have been. Can't live on that.
No. It's time to look forward, no back,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's time to look forward to a big 90 minutes for the club. Because we want to compete, Juicy.
Oxford, we've seen what Alfredo can do when he starts matches in European competitions. And, hopefully he's just about back to being fully fit now. He's had a number of substitution appearances. And we know that we can compete when we are at full tilt. Okay, we've had some bad performances. Let's also just recognise that they were difficult away games as well. Yeah, all right, we didn't get the results that we wanted, but these weren't gimmies, and we have to appreciate that in a big season with a lot of big matches, it's not always going to go your way in the top competitions. We've still got more than enough matches to fix it and turn it around, though, guys, in all competitions. So we've still got 3 more old firms. We've got 5 more matches in the Champions League. So, what was sad last week could be, dreams and smiles within a few weeks, and that football can turn around really quickly. We know we've got a good team. I'm so pleased that Alfredo's getting the chance today, because let's see what he can do. And we know he's capable if he's on it.
Yes, and no question. Albert, would you have started him?
Yeah.
Juicy?
Yes.
Yeah, me also. Yeah, and that's no disrespect to Big Cholak, because I want to see the two of them on the park. I think we've got to try and get our best players. Cholak could be the hero tonight, Albert. He could be the guy to come on and maybe the last half an hour when the game opens up a wee bit, if we're still in the contest, which we hope we are. He comes on fresh and he's a goal scorer.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You never know. How this is going to pan out. I hope he does. I hope he gets the chance to be the goal scorer. I hope he gets the chance to play, as I do Davis as well. I hope they all get a chance to play, Big Tillman, everybody. But at the end of the day, we need to look at each other across the park and go, right, together we're doing this. Together, let's go for
it. Yeah. We haven't played as a team the last 2 games, let's be honest, Juicy. That's the point all bears, mate.
No, we haven't. We didn't look prepared in either of those 2 away matches in terms of how we were going to set up. A lot of criticism from the fans was that it looked like the team didn't really know what the game plan was. That is something that worries me when we talk about not knowing what the game plan is. Now, the manager's been in for a year now. Okay, we've got a few newer players in that time. None of them are playing tonight, but I find that concerning. I don't know how accurate that was, but again, we do know that when this team actually turns up, we know that they can play, and we're not just saying that as Rangers propaganda, are we? We know that they're capable. We've seen it. One thing that I wanted to ask you guys was, we all said there that we wanted Alfredo to start. I wanted him, like you, Ox, I wanted him to start with Cholak. I would have put him on the right and Cholak in the middle. Do you see that as a workable scenario?
I see that you can play the 2 of them hopefully on Saturday, but I wouldn't have started the 2 of them tonight. I think I think there's times in the games for Cholak and tight games for Alfie. I think what we've seen in the last couple of games is that the guy wants the ball behind. He wants us to players have to get him involved, and you feed Cholak, whereas Alfie can make things happen himself if he's on his game all better.
I think the only time you actually see the two playing together is in a domestic game. I think you'll see a 4-1, 3-2 in a domestic game sometime this season, and that's when you'll play the two of them together. But again, it works as if Alfie can play with him and wants to play with him. That's one of the big problems you've got, because you need to supply Cholak. It's a fact of life, mate. He's that type of forward. You need to supply him. Supply him, he'll score. Don't supply him. Very rarely will he make a goal for himself. Well, Alfie can make a goal for himself, but it's very rarely you'll see for Cholak. So if Cholak and Alfie play together, Alfie's got to be the provider. And I'm not sure Alfie likes that sort of role. I think Alfie likes to be more the hero and the goal scorer. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they can play together, because as Box pointed out, you want all your best players on the park, or as many as you can go on the park.
Aye. I get your thinking, but I think if you played Alfie in the right, you could end up with a situation where you had with Tillman at their place. Juicy.
Well, as I said at the top of the show, I don't think we've utilised Tillman very well in the last few matches. So I feel like it's a little bit unfair on the boy, you know. Yeah, for any player in any team, if you want them to play well and get the best out of them, you have to play them in the position, ideally, that they're suited to. Sometimes we expect players to do other things because we need them to. You know, they are professional footballers after all. They are capable of playing, you know, where you need them to, you know, in a limited aspect at least. But we don't need limited. We need them to be able to play full tilt in their best positions. And you know, we were all really pleased with how Tillman had performed up until the last two matches. But he hadn't really been able to play to his levels, and because he was out of position. So I think it's a little bit unfair on Tillman.
I think the boys had a reasonable start to his career. I would have gave him 8 out of 10 to the start of his career up to the last 2 weeks. I think, unfortunately, that's fell to a 6. Yeah, not just his fault. Albert, did he do enough to justify selection tonight? That's up for debate. Albert.
The trouble is that the few games that we played, he was getting away with that, holding the ball slightly too long and running it too far. He was getting away with that. But as soon as he hurt, teams that were starting to, the Scum and the Ajax try to press you and really press you and try to run the legs off you, you get caught wanting there. But don't get me wrong, I think the boys get the intelligence and the skill to come to terms with it. Over the season, I think he'll come good. The boy. I mean, I don't think he's a bad player because he had a bad game in the 2 games, but he's definitely a player. But he needs to learn. And he needs to learn quick that there is times to run with the ball. There is times to pass. We want him merely as a creative player for others. You're not just wanting him to create. He's not a ball carrier up the park. You want him to create for Morelos, Cholak, or whoever, Roof, whoever is on the park. You want him to create for Lawrence and more. But he seems to want, he got away with it with St Johnson and Kilmarnock and Ross County and stuff like that he can run with the ball and sort of rip the pea right out of them because he's better than them. But he steps up a level now, and it's that level you'll need to learn that you need to get rid of the boss, and you need to know what you're doing. You really do. You need to know what you're doing, because there's pointless running with that ball and they just catch you, overtake you, take the ball off you. You make yourself look very foolish. Okay, he's no good in the right, so we know that now. So there's no point in playing him out there. If you're not going to play him in his position, don't play him at all. Don't play him on the right. You're just wasting your time.
I tend to agree with you. I don't think that position on the right is his position. Just I don't.
No. It's been a tricky position for us ever since Candace left, hasn't it?
No, I would like to see Juicy. I would like to see Kent play the right position and put Mutongo or Sakala or Wright or anybody else out on that left side. I'd like to swap wings with the boy and say, right, you go on the right for a change. Let's see what happens with you on the right. Because we might have the solution sitting there in the squad and we're just no recognising it. Because this continuous playing Kent on the left, he's no doing anything, and Montongo on the right, he's no doing anything. Swap them. We used to swap wingers all the time. We don't do it anywhere. Surprise when you get. And by the way, I personally, I think Kent's better on the right. That's my personal thing.
When we won the title a couple of seasons ago, the front three were moving around a lot more, weren't they? And because I can remember Kent scoring a few quality long-range goals where he was sort of coming into the middle from not just the left but the right as well. But now that he's just constantly on the left, teams they've just sussed out the way he plays, haven't they?
Yep.
And that.
He's also getting the ball too deep, Juicy. He's getting the ball.
Yeah.
He's getting the ball too deep.
I think he's getting the ball too deep. It's because he's not allowed to come off that wing. You've got to get him involved in the game. I keep saying this. You need to get him involved in the game. Every time he gets the ball off of Barisic, he's running towards Barisic. You're getting it. Why are you spinning in and letting Barisic hit it all the time? Just variety. I'm talking about not every ball, but just variety. Never does it. And you're sitting going, it's easy to defend. You're actually taking the defender towards your defender, and you're getting the ball with your back to them. It's too easy. It's absolutely too easy. But if he can get off the wing a wee bit and allowed to come in, Barisic could slip a ball into him when he's moving across the park. Different game altogether now. But I think it's Van Bronckhorst's tactics we can't. And I do think the boy wants away, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's trying his leg at the moment. But he needs to start playing. He needs to start playing soon because he can't. It's just an empty jersey. That's all he's going to put in it.
My honest opinion, I think he's still got it. I think he's a boy who looks as if he's void of confidence, and he's still having a hangover at some point. Maybe you're right, but I think his confidence. He needs something to spark for him, Juicy.
Yeah, and if we want to make any money on him, he'll have to move in January. Otherwise, we know that he'll go for nothing at the end of the season. And I'm less concerned about that with Alfredo if he goes, because he only cost $1 million, and he owes us nothing really. I mean, I know he's lost his head a few times, but he's put in a lot of good performances for us on the whole. Kent, we had quite an outlaying to get Kent, didn't we? So to lose him for nothing wouldn't be great. But before that, I'd love to see that confidence just come back, because you're right, Ox. We know there is a player in there who has turned it on. He's never had lots of goals in his game. He's only scored about 10 goals in the championship winning season. But we know that the assists are absolutely monstrous from him. He can make things out of nothing sometimes in terms of opportunities for other players. But he's been very limited with that this season as well. So we've got to move that ball more quickly from the midfield, get him involved, and Borna does link up very well with him, and we have to all be very honest. And for a lot of the negativity we've had to Borna, sometimes Borna's been good this season.
He's arguably been my most consistent player. Albert.
Well, you can't argue the point. I mean, it's no happy with the top of that bunch because they're not playing well, but he is playing. He's playing the best of them all. Why? There you go. There's a question that you should ask ourselves. Why? Because of that wee boy's here, that wee Yilmaz is here, and he's trying a bit harder now. He understands the tactics better. I don't understand what's happening with that boy, Barisic. If he'd have played that way to the start of last season, it'd have been with the same money on the left back. We don't have to. We wouldn't spend a left back, all that money on a left back, and we could have spent the money maybe somewhere else in the team, i.e. midfield. But there you go. Things like that happen all the time. It's like Sands. I think Sands is holding Davis at the team. I think Barisic is holding Yilmaz at the team. You couldn't write that script, by the way. We signed 2 players, and the 2 players we signed them to replace start playing brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but better.
I just think young Redvan is he's taking time to settle, and he's obviously got a lot to learn about the physicality of the game. Ben Davis, he's come in, he's got a knock. as you rightly said, mate, he's not played any games, but he signed somebody for an X amount of millions. The last two big games, he's on the bench and not on the park. It worries me, but it's a whole different debate about the recruitment. I think I've made my views pretty clear in the last few weeks, but it's went from bad to worse. It wasn't great, and it's went from bad to worse. And obviously, somebody's going to have to carry the can for it, because the support definitely aren't, because we backed the club time and time and time again, and there'll be 50,000 in the night spending top dollar, you see, in the stands, in the hospitality, big revenue in one night to our club that we couldn't have dreamed about 5 years ago.
Yeah, fantastic revenue for the club, but expensive on the supporters, and even the singles for the remainders that were left over from the being no Napoli fans have cost around £70. So, that's expensive for a one-off ticket, isn't it? So, the club are getting the revenue in, but where are they putting it? Because we know it's not going on players. We know that there's other things that they're putting that money on. I don't know what's happening with regards to a potential takeover. I don't know whether that's just talk or whether there's more behind that, whether any of the directors are calling in any of their
I'm no one for spreading rumours, you see, but all Bear and Bridge were seen meeting in the town today, so things could be moving.
Oh, I want to know that consortium.
Aye. We're taking it over for 300 million. Bridge is putting 299,900,000.
Aye, we'll see. I'm sure that story's going to run and run.
Well, my concern with that one, just quickly, my concern with that one is that Paul Murray's name is getting mentioned again, and I don't know if it is, but every time that guy's name is mentioned, I get cold shivers in my spine, by the way, because of doom and gloom follows that guy for whatever reason. I just don't know. I don't trust that guy at all.
The problem is, and I'll quickly mention it also, it also drags you back. We want to look forward, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's gone's gone, and we have to try and look forward. I don't think it's always good for business or football teams to go back the way, players coming back. You have the odd one, it's a success, mate. But not always, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
anyway,
okay. Onwards and upwards. Bit of history in the night for, in years to come. Stephen Davis, Alan McGregor played in 2011. 2010 would be our last group stages, I think. I've not checked this out, so I'm winging it here, Juicy. And they're playing 12 years later. They're playing again, huh?
Well, I can remember them playing in our UEFA Cup run to the final in 07-08.
Mm-hmm.
The exact appearances for them before that gets a bit hazy in my head.
I'll check it out exactly. I winged it there, but I'll check it out exactly. But it's
that was 07, so yeah, quite a while. Obviously, they both went away and then came back again. So they've had fantastic careers. And last season was a bit of redemption for McGregor, wasn't it? Because we know that he got injured in that first UEFA Cup final run. So it was really good for him to be able to get all the way to the final. I know we didn't win it, but it was magnificent for him individually to be able to get there, and how well he played in some of those one-off matches. And here we are again. Like you said, no new players, but there's a lot of tried and tested in there. And we know Bourne has been playing well, like we just said. We also know Arfield's played well this season. And we know that we're missing Lawrence, but we know Arfield is also a player that can make it happen for us as well. So I'm quite pleased to see him in there.
It's just my concern, Albert, is the legs, pace. You're up against quick players, intelligent players. You're not up against the players who play against Mace Weeks. They're going to be fast. They're going to spin. They're going to be intelligent. They're going to have great skill. And that's a lack of legs in here. Gave me the fear. I've had that fear for a while that as soon as Joe Aribo came out the team along with Glenn Kamara, we lacked legs.
Absolutely. You know, I don't think we've got legs in the squad, let alone just in this 11. That is what it is. But this level of football, as you've just pointed out there, is quick, it's fast, it's technical. You need legs. We've no go to it. What do we do? As I said before, it's a case of everybody pulling their weight here and doing that bit extra to help your body out. I mean, you'll need to do an extra running. To be 6 kilometres shy Ajax the last time, it's not acceptable, mate. You need to be 6 kilometres more than them. That's what you need to be running, no less. So that's 12 kilometres you need to make up right away. And that's no easy. But you'll have to. And if you don't, well, you're not matching them. It's as simple as that. We're not going to match them for technique. We're not going to match them for skill. That's a fact. But we can match them for team spirit, and we can match them for organisation. If anybody can work out what Gio's wanting, right enough. But apart from that, that's all we've got, mate. I told you that's all we've got. The whole in the sum of the parts. That's it, mate. We've not got anything else. So we need to help all together. And even then, that might not be enough.
I reckon it was Borisport 2010. Juicy, and the team was Alan McGregor, Davy Weir, Richard Foster. There's one that a lot of people when they go. Stephen Whittaker.
Oh my goodness.
Magic Bagheera, Darren Cole, Lee McCulloch, Stephen Davis, Kenny Miller, Stephen Naismith, and Kyle Houghton. Kenny Miller scored the goal on a 1-each draw. That was the last time we were actually in the Champions League group stage, and Stephen Davis and Alan McGregor played 12 years ago.
What would they give for a Bagheera? Sorry, mate, carry on.
Juicy?
Well, it just shows you the longevity of those guys, doesn't it? Some names there. Bagheera, he was a player, wasn't he? I wouldn't mind him in the centre-back position at the moment. We could do with that help.
Wouldn't mind them in the centre-forward position.
True. And the midfield, he was everywhere at one time, wasn't he? Yeah.
Don't forget that goal against Dundee United. He was a good player. By the way, one of the finest performances I've seen him, it was in the South Africa World Cup, Albert, against England. He was absolutely outstanding. Outstanding.
Soon as kept going on about. What can I say back as this guy? Look at this guy. Let go. He's got some goals as well, doesn't he? Some crying goals. Anyway, we're reminiscing. There's no time to reminisce. Is that? Come on. Okay. I'm trying to keep concentrated in this game.
I know. Right, Juicy. Last couple of minutes. How do you see it going? All right, okay. I'll ask you 2 questions. How do you see it going? Head and heart. We'll go with the heart first. I better go to Albert first then if we're talking about hearts.
Heart says... Sorry, go you. Just you go first.
I think it's the same for my head and my heart, to be fair. I think we need to defend very well. And I think my head is saying that as well as my heart, because otherwise it's going to be a very long night. And we just got to take those opportunities when they come, because in the match, we will get a couple of opportunities. You always do. And if we can get something and take a lead, then we'll have a chance. That doesn't happen.
Come on, Juicy, head and heart. Come on, Juicy, head and heart. What's your heart saying?
Oh, I'd love a cheeky 1-0 Bridgeman.
Is that your heart? Is that it? I'm going for we score first 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, and then we get one just before half time and 2 in the second half. Albert, that's my heart.
Oh. Aye, that sounds good to me. Crazy, but good.
Aye, my heat tells me different. Albert.
My heart says if we pull together, we could get a result out of this. I think maybe a draw or a win or a win. That's my heart. My heat says if we don't turn up, it's another scudding. It's another absolute scudding. And it's as simple as that. And I'll be saying that in the dressing rooms. What do you want? Come on, guys. You need the crowd. The crowd deserve a performance and maybe even a result. They deserve. Let's go out and see what we can do for them. Come on, let's do something. Don't take a scudding. Just don't take a scudding.
You've got to perform. We need everybody to perform, Juicy. We need our whole team to perform some of the games we did last year.
It needs a Leipzig at home performance. Leipzig at home, Braga at home. It needs those 2 levels where the whole starting 11 and substitutes are on it. because if they're anything less than that, as I said, it will be very, very difficult. And I don't want to say the word scudding, but we're playing against a team that is more than capable of hurting every team in this group. So, we need to be on it.
He only uses that term because that was his favourite books back in the day, Scud ones. Right, okay. It's a difficult game. We wish all the team the best. It'll be an emotional night at Ibrox, Albert.
Aye, it will be, mate. It will be. Just a quick word on UEFA. Get it roundies. That's what I can say to them. You're doing your usual. This nonsense of not letting the Rangers fans go to Naples is disgraceful. And absolute. This is us getting punished because they can't get their own way. They think they're bigger than governments that much. And if they can't get their own way, one of the teams or the team of that country is going to get hurt, and we get hurt. There you go.
By the way, I've got sympathy for the Naples fans as well, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I mean, they're talking garbage. You've not got enough police. I wouldn't blow it out your ear. Talk a lot of crap there. What's the rest of them doing up and down the country? Sitting in their rings doing nothing, obviously. You could have given them a day off and told them to come in and do a back shift a day, couldn't you? But nah, it's just garbage, mate. Absolute garbage. Talking nonsense. Sporting integrity. Here we go with that one. Lywell's terminology, sporting integrity. UEFA, sporting integrity. Have you ever heard any such nonsense after that corrupt, man? But anyway, I've got my own thoughts on them and FIFA.
Aye, I'm sure you have. You've got your own thoughts on everything. And let's be honest, some of them are unique. Juicy, it will be emotional tonight,
It'll be very emotional, and we know that the fans are going to put on a great display. And if they dare fine us for singing our national anthem tonight, we certainly shouldn't be paying anything towards that. I don't care how far it gets. Colbert is 100% right. Absolutely disgraceful from UEFA. There's that little part of me that just makes me feel dirty that football is even associated with them. But it's unfortunately where we are at the moment. Maybe one day something will be refreshed on that front. But right now, that's where we are. And I'm just so proud of everything that the Union bears and everyone who's helped put that tifo that we're going to see tonight, because it's absolutely fantastic. And put something on for her Majesty, and of course our new king as well.
Yeah. Right, okay. Enjoy the game, Albert.
I'll do my best, mate. I'll do my best. I'll be shouting the boys on.
So, pour a large one. Juicy, enjoy the game.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for listening. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back with a phone-in show approximately 15 minutes after the final whistle. God save the king. Take it away, Foxy boy.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard. We've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Successful team in football, we're Scotland's gallant few. with Scotland's gallant few, who times they have been hard, will follow near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands at Ibrox Park.